Suns finals, Chris Paul, LeBron doesn't go to the game, doesn't congratulate him. Is that a WNBA game down the street? Right. You grow up and you think that these guys, the Michael Jordans, the LeBrons, the Kobes are role models, and you look up to them. But then, like, as you become more of an adult, you realize, like, they're just guys. Like, they're just people, and they're going to make mistakes, and they're going to be petty. What is your thoughts on just the way this whole situation is playing out with Chris Paul, the Suns, LeBron, kind of not, and it's supposed to be homies, apparently.
Right. Well, they are homies, and it's funny because I was on Undisputed with my man Skip Bayless. We're debating this, and Skip thinks it was a huge deal. Skip actually thought that LeBron was trying to slight or steal the spotlight from the Clippers because they're the team in LA that's trying to take, the place of the Lakers. I gotta be honest, I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Okay.
I think a lot of the cast for Space Jam was in LA. I believe that's why Damian Lillard, Dwayne Wade, and some of these guys were in town. And so they went to the game. Like, I don't think LeBron was trying to slight Chris Paul. I don't think he was trying to slight the Clippers. Look, anywhere LeBron goes, anything he does is a scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so because of how big he is, but he's been very. I gotta be honest. I think he is pulling for Chris Paul. Like, he's obviously tweeted after each game that they've won. 1 to go after game 1, 1 down, 3 to go. Last night, 2 down, 2 to go.
Yeah.
So, I think that LeBron is pulling for his friend Chris Paul because even if he were a threat, obviously it wouldn't be right necessarily for LeBron not to pull for him. But the fact is, he's not a threat to LeBron. LeBron's legacy is obviously going to be much greater than Chris Paul's. So I do think he's pulling for his friend. And I say that because, Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson were buddies back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of things that went into why their relationship kind of went sour. But the beginning of it was when Isaiah began reaching the NBA Finals and competing against Magic. And there are those that'll tell you, look, when Isaiah was just the nice little all-star in the Eastern Conference who was getting beat in the playoffs, and Magic was the king and, facing Larry Bird, it was all good.
Yeah.
But once Isaiah began challenging Magic's throne, if you will, then there was some tension between those two. So, yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's much ado about nothing. I think Damian Lillard, he's not going to end up with the Lakers. I think he'll probably end up playing in Portland at least next year, and then maybe we'll see if he moves on. But yeah, I think it was it was just much ado about nothing in my view.
I remember my brother DJ Official, rest in peace, DJ Official, said that Lecrae and the guys back in the day did a show at like LeBron's church, and they met him, and he was a part of a youth group back there. I think it was Cross Movement, Official and Cross Movement. What role, you probably know more than I do, I'm assuming you've had maybe some interaction with him over the years. What role do you think faith is playing in just LeBron's public persona and the stuff he's doing?
Well, LeBron did grow up around, which is, look, most African Americans in this country have grown up around Christians, and to be honest, Christians in their family. Someone who was dragging them to church, a grandmother, an aunt, a father, somebody was dragging them to church and sharing the gospel with them. Eventually, that's beginning to change as we get further and further along in these generations. But at this point, that's essentially been the case. I know that LeBron, one of his mentors, who was his first high school coach, Drew Joyce. I know Drew and his sons. One of his sons is one of LeBron's best friends. They were high school teammates, and they're Christians. And they're a Christian family. They played an instrumental role in LeBron's life. In fact, Drew Joyce, the coach, who coached LeBron when LeBron was little, like 11 years old and stuff, he would always tell LeBron and the other players, don't let the game of basketball use you. You use the game of
That's good.
basketball.
That's
And if
good.
you look at LeBron's pattern in his career, that's exactly what he's done. He's used, yes, he loves the game of basketball just for the pureness of the game.
Yeah.
But he's also used the game of basketball and his brilliance at it to do all types of things that he's wanted to do, to start a school,
Yeah.
to hook up some of his homeboys that he grew up with. And now Rich Paul, one of his friends from high school, is one of the most powerful agents in sports.
Yeah.
Now Maverick Carter, one of his high school teammates, is a media mogul. And there are others, of course, that he's helped. So LeBron has taken Drew Joyce's words to heart and used the game of basketball to advance the causes that are important to him and to just help others and things like that. So I know that I've been told that they did take LeBron to church at times. I was told, I haven't heard this from LeBron, but I was told that I know there was a good church they went to called the House of the Lord in Akron, that LeBron would go there at times. And, you know, I even was told at one point he did go down to the altar, you know, when the call to salvation was made. He was a teenager at the time. I believe also there was an AAU, no, not AAU, but there was like a traveling basketball team that was a ministry. It was called Team Jam. Jesus is Alive Ministries, JAM.
Oh, that's cool.
And LeBron played for them at least at some point.
Yeah.
And I know the leader of that group, who was a Christian, was in touch with LeBron and some of his teammates to some degree. I don't know that they still are, but early in LeBron's career. So he's been exposed to the gospel. There's no question about that. I don't know if he refers to himself as a Christian. Obviously, we've all heard him talk about the man upstairs and things like that. But he's certainly been exposed to the gospel.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's, at the very least, there's a seed there. At the very least, there's a seed there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it'd be incredible to see. Hopefully, you know, that fully blossom at some point.
In fact,
in
one of
whatever
his
way.
homeboys from back in the day was doing some Christian rap.
Okay.
I don't know if he was saved when they were in high school. He's probably at least was in church, you know, whether he was living it or not. But I know years ago he reached out to me because he had done some Christian hip hop. He had also done some hip hop just kind of based on LeBron and basketball and things like that he was trying to get out there. But he also was doing some Christian hip hop too. So again, there's no doubt that it's within LeBron's radar. The gospel is certainly within his radar.
That's so dope. Last question on LeBron. Bronny, LeBron, both in the NBA together competing against each other. Do you think it's going to happen?
Yeah, because Bronny's a junior.
Yeah.
So the earliest he could go he's got 2 more years to next year, the following year. So that'd be 3 years if they change the rule where high school kids can go straight to the NBA, which could happen. So LeBron have to play 3 more years, which I think he can.
Yeah.
I think I think Father Time's tapping him on the shoulder. He's still playing great, obviously.
Yeah.
But and this doesn't mean he's still arguably the best player in the world.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he's not as good as he was 2-3 years ago.
Yes.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
Like LeBron in his ultimate prime could have taken us to Lecrae and the ambassador to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Like I mean, he could carry anybody. You know. Now I would get my 20. I don't know if y'all can hoop. I would get my 20 a night.
I was hooping this morning. I hooped 2-3 times a week. I'm in the rec league. I'm all the way in. Yeah. I'm not good, but I'm 5'10" in Armenian. There's never been Armenian in the NBA.
No, but now if you look at his first year with the Lakers, he didn't carry them to the playoffs. I get it, he was injured. But
I'm saying it was that whole back-to-back seasons and I think
the first year was just a normal season, and he got injured with the groin, came back and said, I'm in playoff mode. It's time to click it on, get in playoff mode. And the Lakers went 8-13 from that point on in the games LeBron played. So he couldn't kick it up. He said, I'm going to, but he wasn't able to, which that was the first time you were like, man, he was not able to carry anybody just to the playoffs. Obviously, the next year they win the championship. And then this year, you saw without Anthony Davis, LeBron still played great individually, but couldn't carry that team the way. So that's what I mean. Look, Kevin Durant can't carry a team by himself. Luka Doncic, all these others. So it doesn't necessarily mean he's no longer the best player in the world, but he's dropping. He's not what he was years ago. And here's the thing. I think where it's showing up as well is the injuries. So 3 years ago, think of it, 2 of the last 3 seasons for LeBron, he's had serious injuries. LeBron has been an Iron Man in his career. And a groin injury 3 years ago, an ankle injury this year, and I feel like in his prime, those would really not have been injuries. He would not have suffered those injuries. And then think about it, the 1 year he was able to complete and win the championship, they had a 4-month break to rest up your body. You know what I mean? And so I just think that's where you see the effects of the age on LeBron. But I do think he could go 3 more years. If Bronny plays maybe 1 year in college or the G League or something, then you're talking about 4 years. That'll be more challenging. But it would be incredible to see LeBron play with his son. And I know he wants to. And Bronny, man, when you watch him play, you see a lot of LeBron. You see the intelligence, the basketball IQ, the composure that LeBron plays with. It's incredible. And so I think he certainly has a great chance to make it to the league.
That's good.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.
Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you found it valuable, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. You can check out one of the other videos related to this that'll be over here. Now, I gotta tell you about a free training I have for anyone that is an entrepreneur, a creative, an artist, but maybe you are unsure on how to find your voice, how to find your niche. I have a free training in the description of this video. Check it out. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you on the next video.